Jeremy Fowler of ESPN tossed this one out there. And man, I think it upsets me for two reasons, and I'll get to that here in a second. He said, quote, this is about Justin Fields and the New York Jets. They could have some interest. They like the idea of a dual threat quarterback. He's younger. I'm told Fields has looked at that roster, sees some intrigue there. They have some good young pieces like Garrett Wilson and a good defense. You hear Justin Fields is intrigued. We'll use the word intrigued by the New York Jets. Two things come to mind. One, the Steelers better be in full blown, get this thing done, stop it, because now it's real. It doesn't matter how big this is. Justin Fields has explored. He has had that conversation, whether it's with himself or his family and friends or teammates or maybe potential teammates in New York or his agent. Doesn't matter. He's had those conversations with at least enough people that it got to Jeremy Fowler. The Steelers are now faced with we cannot let him leave because, well, he's actually considering leaving. That's not good. And that is not where the Pittsburgh Steelers want to be. I think it just pushes the sense of urgency to go get a deal done and not wait around and not take your chances, which is what the Steelers should be doing anyways. There's no part of anybody in Pittsburgh that should be sitting around contemplating where the Steelers go quarterback. It's Justin Fields. We all know it should be Justin Fields. That should not change and should not have changed at all whatsoever. On the other side of it, man, dude, I like Justin. You know, I like what Justin could bring to the field. I like what Justin does. I like him. He seems like a really nice guy. Seems like a good teammate, good leader. I think he's got a boatload of potential. I would hate to see him go to the Jets. That would, like, why? Don't go throw it all away for the Jets if you're Justin Fields. Don't do that. That's just a risk that is not worth taking. If the options are the Steelers or the Jets, you go to the Steelers every single time. But that being said, I would imagine the Jets are going to throw a lot more money at his face and say, come on, buddy. We got Garrett Wilson and another $5 million. Sounds good. I don't know. Those are my two thoughts. The Steelers better get this thing moving because at this point, it's not looking good. And it's still in a neutral spot. I've checked into this, and what I was told was that Justin's still their guy, but nothing's changed. There's been no movement on we're going to get Justin back. So it just feels like right now it's just a wait and see. And what we're seeing is Justin exploring other rosters to see where his potential other options are. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, free agents in the NFL and in any sport are looking for two things: money and opportunity. We've both been kind of on the same page here that we think that the New York Jets would be willing to pay Justin more than the Steelers would be willing to pay. Now, how much more? That remains to be seen. The second one is opportunity, and I disagree with you on that one. You say if it's between the Jets and the Steelers, you take the Jets every time. Why?
No, Steelers.
Or sorry, yeah, you take the Steelers every time. Why? That's still same question. Why? Okay. The Jets don't have this big of names, but their defense is pretty good. Steelers defense is pretty good, sure. So I'd say that's a wash right now. I mean, the Jets underperformed on defense last year, but I think they have potential to be right up there with the Steelers. Offense-wise, you got one weapon in New York. You got one weapon in Pittsburgh. What makes the Steelers that much more of an attractive location for a quarterback right now? The head coach?
No, I agree.
Coordinator? I don't know. Like, that's what I look at. I'm saying if the Jets can offer more money, I think the opportunity seems pretty even, especially considering Justin came to Pittsburgh. He played well, and they took that opportunity right out from under him. So what's to stop them from doing it again if they bring in somebody else we're going to talk about to potentially be 1B or the backup? What's to stop them from doing the same thing next year? Whereas if you go to the Jets, you get that opportunity, you probably start the entire season, whether you struggle or not. So I think that there's nothing that's stopping Justin Fields from saying the opportunity is a little bit better in New York than it is in Pittsburgh right now, because you look at last year, yeah, the Steelers beat the Jets. They also went to the playoffs, but at the end of the day, they both ended up as close to the Super Bowl as the other, which is not winning it and not winning a single playoff game.
I don't disagree with you. And I think my only argument against the Jets is like the one that everybody's going to use, and it holds strong. Like there's definitely some support behind it. But I hear what you're saying. Like, you know, Aaron Glenn's attractive. You got good offensive weapons there. Like, You definitely need an offensive line, but you were banged up, and you have some pieces there that could grow. You could look into it. The defense is good. I get all that. And, Pittsburgh's not a very attractive place right now. By no means not a very attractive place right now. The Jets just feel like a place where quarterbacks go to die. And it just doesn't. I mean, when was the last time the Jets had a really successful, lasted a long time in the NFL quarterback? Like Mark Sanchez is as close as it gets. And I think he's only got like 8 years which is a great NFL career. Justin's already halfway there. That means he's got 4 years left. Chad Pennington would be the other one that comes to mind. And that's, we were just finding out what football was when Chad Pennington was running around doing his thing for the New York Jets. And I get it. That's a weak argument. It's not that there's no tangibles behind that. So I understand what you're saying. I do understand what you're saying. But again, that's why the Steelers need to do this. And they need to stop, answering around and stop considering anything and just do it. Because the Steelers at some point need to realize that they, just like you said, are not that attractive of a location, that they are not a team that that players are going to look at and say, I 100% want to go there. That seems awesome. No, right now they're a bit of a laughing stock in the NFL with a coach that people do not believe in as much, with everybody talking about all the drama all the time. They are a dramatic football team. And yeah, cool. Maybe Aaron Rodgers wants to come here because nobody else wants him. Maybe Russell Wilson wants to come here because nobody else wants him and he doesn't want to go to the Giants. If that's not the top of your list, it's not even close. So you have to look and have a little bit of a sense of urgency. I agree. I think this is a warning shot to me. If I'm the Steelers, I look at this as Fowler just sent a warning shot to the Steelers about Justin Fields might not be 100% in on getting you back. Let me ask you this question. If you got into a bidding war with a team like the Giants or the Jets or the Giants or whoever, how far are you willing to bend here if you're the Steelers? Like we know like, hey, 15 to 20, somewhere in that range is feels like a good spot for Justin Fields. Where are you looking to, like, how much you bending before the Jets get them and you just lose your bidding war?
Well, I think that no matter what, if it gets to a bidding war, the Jets will outbid the Steelers, just because historically speaking, it feels like the Jets are a team that if they want the guy, they're going to go out and pay to get the guy. Like they went out and paid to get Aaron Rodgers because they thought that was going to be the cure to all things. So if they think Justin Fields is the cure to all things and Aaron Glenn is saying, this is the guy that I want because this is the guy that's going to help my vision bring what happened in Detroit to happen in New York, I think they'll go out and do that. But if I'm the Steelers side of things, again, you don't want to overpay Justin Fields because he isn't proven. While he does have the most upside of these quarterbacks, in our opinion, it's not like he's proven to be able to go out and just do it day in and day out and that he's going to be a top level quarterback. So I'm not paying more than 25, certainly. And I think once you get to that 25, 24, 26 meter, that's when you start saying, all right, is it going to be worth it? Or should we just go try to find another Band-Aid, which again, not a great option, but is it better doing that than overpaying Justin Fields? Probably.
I agree. I think that 25 mark is like where I expect the bend to have to get to. I think anything over that is ridiculous. Like, I get it. I think Justin Fields has a boatload of talent there, but I mean, it's just not worth it. It's just not. Like at the end of the day, you have to make decisions that put your football team in a position long-term to have success. The Steelers are not in a position where they're going to win a Super Bowl in 2025, most likely. So why not try to win one in 2026 or 2027? Why not try to create the next dynasty? You're not going to do that by paying Justin Fields $30 million for a tryout. Like that's not, and that's the other thing is he's not going to take a 1-year deal. Justin Fields isn't looking for a 1-year deal somewhere. He's looking for 2 or 3, some stability, a little bit of an actual opportunity. The Steelers are going to have to give him that. And I think just that's why you have to look at, if you could sign Justin Fields to 40, 45 million bucks right now, 2 years, do what you got to do. Bend a little bit to get there. Great. Sounds good. Because if it works out, awesome. And if it doesn't, who cares? Who cares? You tried and you gave it your best shot and you got the best option. Like there's, of all the options, you got the best one. Just because it didn't work out doesn't mean you didn't try your hardest. That's how I'd look at the Steelers. If I'd go from there, all right, let's reverse it. Let's reverse roles right now. if the Steelers whiff on Justin and you got to go to plan B, doesn't matter where that plan B is. It could be Aaron Rodgers, could be Russ, whatever. How much less are you paying for those guys?
Well, the only problem with that is how much less are those guys willing to take, because they're going to have pedigree and their agents are going to bump it up. I would not pay them over 20. I wouldn't pay them anywhere close to 20 because I don't think either of them have what's left in the tank to be worth $20 million to a football team. I would go 15 and start the conversation there. But again, that's just me and what I view as guys like Rodgers, guys like Wilson, guys like who else am I thinking there? Kirk Cousins, especially.
Kirk, yeah. I think, Kirk is a dude. Like, I get the Kirk stuff. Kirk's not winning a Super Bowl, man. Like, he's not. Like, he was a pipe dream for the Falcons that didn't work out. I agree. I think 15 million bucks is where I'm sitting. Like, at that point, what's the difference? What is the difference between Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins, and Aaron Rodgers? The chance at a Super Bowl? Awesome.
The locker room.
Yeah. Okay. That's true. The locker room. Shout out Kirk Cousins. Would easily be the best of the three to have in there. But I just don't see a big enough difference between the three to say, yeah, all right. Because all of them are, you could say Aaron Rodgers gives you the best shot at a Super Bowl. You could say Russ has the most left in the tank. And you could say Kirk is finally a year removed from his Achilles. Maybe that makes a difference. Maybe it does. Maybe it all does. But maybe they are all washed and there's just nothing left. And I think they're all pretty evenly split to you're taking a shot. So just pick one, and whoever's the cheapest, you put it out there. That's a sad reality for the Pittsburgh Steelers, one they can avoid by just signing Justin Fields.